That kid rhymed falafels right there, E. I don't know. In my years, in my decades of doing hip-hop, I don't know if I met another MC
Nope.
that rhymed falafels.
That's crazy.
This may go down in the Guinness Book of Hip-Hop History.
What?
Randall Park
Oh, my God.
is the first to ever rhyme
Falafel.
falafels. Is that true?
I doubt it.
You think somebody? No, because why would anybody try to rhyme with that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Falafels. Waffles. Yeah, waffles.
Because it also got to be like lived experience too. So I don't know how many like rappers have also just gotten a plate of falafels.
Yes, true.
That's a good point, Tracy G.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I might be a bit of a groundbreaker there, trailblazer there.
Yeah, there you go, man. You're a hip hop head, man. Give it up, man. This dude is an actor, director, award-winning writer. He does it all, and he's an MC. Give it up for the one and only Randall Park.
Yes.
Hey, welcome.
This is a real honor. I've been a fan of you guys. I've been a fan of the Wake Up Show. I was listening early on.
Wow.
I've been a fan of this guy.
Yeah. Erick
When I
Sermon,
saw he was in here, I was like,
yeah, bro. This is your life, man.
the ERICK is my name.
Oh,
my
my God.
thanks to the clientele.
Yo.
Yeah,
Wait a
I rock
second.
well. Oh my God.
Wait. Are we taping this?
Yes.
There was a whole period when me and my friends, whenever someone looked kind of tired, we'd be like, if you're tired, then go take a nap.
Oh my God.
Yo, Eve,
I love it.
How much of an honor is that to have Randall
Nah,
Park?
it's just like, again, since we don't know each other, we don't know people, too, as far as that, if they know you or not, like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, again, it feels good. That's why I said if it's taped, right now, if it's taped, Randall Park just did my verse.
Yes.
So this is what
I mean,
special.
legendary. This is
Appreciate
wild.
it.
This whole thing is wild for me. So
But it's so crazy, Randall. Before you walked in, he shared with us that he is an introvert. And me as a fan, like you, just growing up listening to EPMD and watching Eric do production with so many other artists, including himself, I would have never have taken him for an introvert, because I remember so amazing singing and laughing, all the videos, all the fun stuff. It didn't strike me as that. You being able to do, Sway listed so many of your talents. Are you introverted or extroverted?
I'm an introvert.
Yeah,
as well.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just by nature an introvert. I find a lot of artists are introverts, because they got it in them, and in daily life, it's like still in them, and then through their art they just get it out.
Wow,
that's what I find.
They find themselves through their art. You're an LA guy too, right?
Yep, born and raised.
Let's go, man. All right. Let's go. All right. Hold up, baby.
Now you from LA too?
I'm from the planet Earth. Was my place of birth. Born to be the soul controller
of the universe.
Yo.
Randall is to the cookout. Randall's
super cookout. He's a hip hop head.
Yo, he's a hip hop head. I already know that. That's why I knew I could throw that out.
Okay.
All
right.
Yo, when I mentioned The Good Life, what do you think of?
The Good Life. Yeah, that was at the Leimert Park, right?
Yes.
Right. I mean, I never made it out there, but Freestyle Fellowship. I mean, I know all the. I'm aware of all the stuff that happened there.
Yeah, but that counts.
Yeah.
Right?
And I would listen to stuff. I listened to Mike at 9 and AC Alone, all of them.
Gosh,
I was
man.
big into them.
And see, this is deep rooted LA hip hop history, right?
Yeah.
Micah 9 and Freestyle Fellowship, Bigger B, all these guys, when you think of King T, right? The Liquid Crew, you think of Exhibit and, Razkaz and all of these different guys.
Oh, Razkaz. He was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
When he'd come on your show.
Yeah, right?
Whenever he'd do his freestyle. I mean, there was a handful of folks, whenever they'd come on, I'd be like, oh my God, they're on. They're on.
Who were they? Was it Juice?
Love Juice. And he was off the top, right?
Yeah.
And
Jesus, he's yo, hey, I'm gonna let him live his dream right now.
I I loved when Eminem came on. That was
But did you hear it live?
Like, I heard some of it live. I heard some of it on. I mean, I would record it on cassette tape even at a certain point, and then and I remember hearing a lot of. I remember afterwards waiting for it to come out, somehow, and I think maybe on some bootlegs it would come out, and I would listen. And then eventually, it was more accessible.
Wow.
But I would hear it live on top of I would
record it,
have it recorded, and friends would give me their recordings. And
it's crazy.
By the way, Eminem is on our TV right now in the studio.
Crazy
oh my
timing.
gosh, we got a ghost. Like anytime we bring up artists on
in New York,
the New York TV, always their video pop up out of nowhere, man. I don't know.
No way.
I swear it's a ghost of the
it's
TV.
A ghost.
The hip hop ghost.
It's a good ghost, but nonetheless,
you know who else I loved was I loved Motion.
Motion Man.
He was dope. Yeah.
Wow.
I loved. And Thurston the Howell the Third.
Oh yes,
He would come on just real unique.
Let me give some context,
style.
okay? Because Motion Man, and E, we used to play you Motion because what Motion was somebody came out on All City Records, which was King Tech and my label at that time, All City Production. So we had Motion Man. We had the group The Bums with the vocalists and D-Wise. We had Mr. Me. We had all of these dope-ass MCs. And Motion was he probably had one of the most unorthodox rap styles in the game. And he was good friends with Kool Keith.
That explains it because Kool Keith's style is way out there.
Yeah, right? And so Motion, and these were all people doing it on the West Coast.
Yeah.
So Far Side, you come from that era.
Oh, Saphir.
His
the
Saucy Nomad.
Yeah, Hobo Junction. Oh, the whole high road Hobo Junction.
He's bugging me out right now because these names I don't know. But I'm looking at him and he looks 37. But I'm saying I'm gonna.
Oh no!
That's what I'm seeing. So when you're saying you back there, I'm like, he was like.
Did you hear the Hobo Junction hieroglyphic battle? No,
I did. Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah, we did that in the Bay, but we broadcasted it on 92.3 The Beat at the time as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I heard that. I remember being just frozen.
Yeah.
Who's Hobo Junction? Did they from
Hobo
the
Junction?
Bay?
Yeah, they're from the Bay. Saphir and his brothers.
Saphir had them, I know.
Yeah, so that was his crew, and they really all grew up together, right? The Hobo Junction with Saphir and Hieroglyphics with Souls of Mischief and everybody.
Of course.
Dale and everybody.
Yeah, Dale.
They all. And Opio's father was me and King Tech's attorney.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the Michael Ashburn.
Opio, I'm a big Opio fan.
Yeah, Opio was incredible.
We don't
see, and that's the point I was gonna make. E. So, Randall, you had the blessing and the pleasure of listening to Sway and King Tech at your regular.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes,
Me and E being on the East Coast, you only got to Sway and King Tech. First of all, you heard about them first.
Right.
And it's like, who is this Sway and King Tech? And hopefully your label will send you out there, your rep, to go be on their show, because it started to hit on the East Coast that it was very important that you go there, right, E? So you had to pay that respect for them. And then these tapes started to come out. You know what I mean? Like, yo, who are these people? That's when I started to have respect for West Coast. I didn't really, like, before NWA, they were shocking to me because I was hearing about lyricists from the Sway and the King Tech show. You know, so this was different. I couldn't figure out what happened. You know, because it was like, you see these dudes, but that's not what I was hearing through the Sway and King Tech show. And E can attest to that. Because these names, you only heard about them through y'all first Sway, to be honest. So you had it on the regular. For me and E, you had to go find this.
Yes.
Yep.
You had to go find that. Those names y'all mentioning, whatever, I wouldn't, it'd be messed up because they would ask me hip hop questions and you were saying what you were saying to him. I look crazy.
Yeah.
Because I really don't really know about kind of like, you know, back then in 78, 79 either.
No?
I know about the Grandmaster Flash
5. Okay,
You know, so when people go back and be like, you know, even though Kaz is whatever and the best
Cold
to ever
Crush.
do it, you know, whatever, I'm from Long Island. So those Bronx tapes that was circulating that people had, I never heard none of them.
That's another thing.
But you were also busy creating the culture.
Well, I mean, but I still can't. I'm still the late part of
the era.
I'm the latest. EPMD was the last one of '88 to come. I came out '88 November.
Yeah, so you're really '89.
I was able to watch. That's why MC Light, Crime to Understand was my inspiration. Of course, Rakim, inspiration. KRS-One, Biz, Public Enemy. I was able to hear all that. So me coming out whack wasn't gonna happen.
Right.
I had a blueprint of what was all out before we came.
And like Sway always break down the difference for us between Los Angeles and the Bay and the Sound. So he mentioned Long Island. To us, that was like way out there. That was a foreign place. You thought Jersey couldn't get in. Long Island, if it wasn't for PE, we wouldn't have known about Long Island.
I'm curious too, being introverted, and you're an actor. So, you got to get into roles and play characters. You're a writer. You got to write roles and characters as well. How does music play a part in that process for you when you're acting or even when you're writing?
I don't know. I feel like music, I've been such a big fan of music, and I just feel like it's just in me. So whatever I've absorbed comes out some way, So I don't really, I don't see like a direct, I'm not like a musician.
Would you listen to music in the dressing room?
I'll listen to music in the dressing room. I'll have music playing in the background when I'm writing. I'll have, there's always music, always at all times. So it's a big part of my my life and my just kind of zone, getting into a zone, and it just sparks up so many things, always sparks up new ideas, new thoughts,
You're Korean? What's your descent? Yo, the illest beat boys, the illest, or for those who don't know what I'm talking about, breakers.
Yes.
Come from Korea, yo.
Why do you think that is?
Dudes are strong and small, so
I don't know. There's a movie called Planet B-Boy.
Planet B-Boy, right?
That was the first movie I took my my now wife to, the first date we ever went on.
You took her to see Planet B-Boy?
I took her to see Planet B-Boy at the New Art Theater in Los Angeles, and they, it was a b-boy competition, and Korea was, a part of that, and they won the competition,
Come on,
and my wife is Korean, and I was like, oh, this might be, this will be good to take her to this movie.
Did that work, or was she bored?
She loved it.
She loved it?
Yeah. So it was a good way to. I mean, we're together 15 years.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. You owe it to hip hop.
Right. Yeah. I
do. I like that. Even when you did Fresh Off the Boat, right?
Yeah.
That was paying homage.
Yes.
In many ways to hip hop culture.
It was. It felt like very. I don't know. It just felt very, like the universe, like, gave me that gig, for a lot of reasons. It was this Asian American family on TV, which was, hadn't been done in a very long time, and I was always into Asian American studies, into the community, and then also the hip hop angle of it, getting to meet so many rappers who who were guest stars, and having the music in the show, it just felt very full circle to me.
Yeah, man. Give this guy a round of applause. Randall Park. We can sit up here. I know we got to talk about the residents, but damn it, that ain't why you're here. You know that, right?
No, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here.
This combo's too good.
But Sway, really quickly, Randall can actually what's up, Randall?
Mike Muse.
Hey, what's happening?
Speaking of B-Boy, Sway at the Beach Race, I don't know if you saw Randall doing the J Hut tunnel walk, but he is known as the B-Boy with his pop locked in.
Oh, yes.
You crushed your B-Boy skills.
I don't know. I was nervous about that.
But, he did what? You was popping and locking?
But I was in a breaking crew, like way back. And when I was in elementary school, I was in a little breakdance crew.
What was it called?
We didn't even have a name. It was just a bunch of us, and we'd bring out the cardboard.
Yo, DB, get Just Begun Jimmy Castor ready for me. Throw that on whenever you're ready, DB.
So you did Jennifer Hudson's
hold up,
Spirit
hold up,
Walk.
Okay.
Okay.
Hold up. You hear that? What you
Oh,
do?
no.
Come on, Randall. You want to stand
Go,
up?
Randall. Go, Randall.
Nah, you're not going to pump. There you go. There you go.
Okay, there you go.
There you go, man.
All right.
He did that in the Spirit Tunnel.
That was
Watch me now.
smooth.
Dude, it's nice what it is, yo.
You know what
We're
I
going to
want?
battle with a show over.
I love it. I love it, Randall.
That's dope. The coach is real.
You're such a joy, and I wanted to tap into, because you've been such a vocal advocate for Asian American representation in the media, and obviously you've contributed to that representation in so many different fashions. But I'm wondering, for you, when was the last time you saw yourself reflected in another's work where you actually felt seen as a viewer?
The last time or the first time?
Maybe both.
Gosh, the first time was Pat Morita.
Wow.
Early, like when he was on like Happy Days.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah. What was he, Louis on Happy?
He was Arnold.
Arnold on Happy
Arnold
Days.
on Happy.
Yeah.
And then when he would pop in on Sanford and Son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was
And he was
Achu.
on
Chin,
Mash,
Achu.
too.
Yeah.
With the restaurant inside of
He
the
was
spot.
Achu.
Remember that? He was
Yes.
hilarious.
And then it's seeing like an Asian American, like this was like an Asian person on a TV show who didn't speak with an accent, was clearly like from LA, or somewhere familiar, that was
that's
probably
important.
the first time. Yeah. And it left a big impression on me early on.
And what about the last time? Like, just you being on the viewer side, because it's important, obviously, to be a part of it collaboratively, but I also feel like it's a different experience to just be viewing the big screen or the small screen like the rest of us and still feel seen.
I think that show Beef was like
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That show Beef was like, oh, this is like me, folks I grew up with.
That was hilarious, too.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably the last time.
Dope.
Do you when you take on roles, do you try to avoid certain characters or certain roles that might lean into stereotypes? Or?
Yeah, I would say that they come around a lot less now. Like, I think the industry is just more conscious of, not being overtly stereotypical, But yeah, I mean, there's always like, whenever a part would come, there's always like a little bit of a inner conversation. Like, okay, like what is this part like based on? Is it like is it a human being? Like, is there an opportunity to fill out this character and to make the character a real person, or is the nature of the role just there to be whatever stereotype? Then it's kind of like, I don't need to do that.
Are you at the point now where roles are being offered to you, or do you still have to audition?
Pretty much offered at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh, hey.
No, congratulations, because what people don't know, you work really hard for that.
Yeah,
for a long
long time.
It's a long time coming for something like that. So
I mean, I'll still audition every now and then.
Yeah.
If it's like a real, like, oh my gosh, I gotta throw my hat in for that. But usually it's offers.
Congrats.
Thank
you. Put
you.
the work
Thank
in
you.
for that.
Thank
yeah.
you.
You earned that Randall Park hip hop head.
Thank you.
You ain't nothing but a hip hop head made good, man. We've seen your type before, right? I'm going to talk about The Residents because you have such a all-star cast of folks, man.
Yeah.
But you had an all-star cast of folks now on Wild 'N Out.
Oh yeah.
When you look at how people, Cat Williams, Nick Cannon, you could never know what would happen with what some of these characters, like DC Young Fly, all these different people have gone on to become humongous, including yourself, right?
Yeah, when I was doing it, Cat was in the cast.
Mm-hmm.
Mikey Day on
Mikey
SNL
Day,
was in the cast. Taryn Killam, D. Ray Davis, Corey Holcomb. It was
Wow. Was Kevin a part of this?
Kevin Hart would come on. He was doing episodes.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a wild time.
Yeah. What did you do it for fun, or you were doing it with hope?
I mean, both.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my first like somewhat regular gig. And
Okay.
so it was like a big, in a lot of ways, I credit Nick for giving me my first kind of big break, you know, because I had a steady job for a few seasons, and that was like huge for me because I just needed to pay rent, number one, but then also to be on this show with all these great comedians, and then also the hip hop element to it. It was just it was so fun, so fun.
How much was rent back then?
Probably like $1,000 a month.
A month,
3-bedroom.
$1,000.
Wait.
No.
Where at?
No.
I was like,
He was like, where?
No, I did have a place though, and it was $800-something a month for a studio apartment.
Nice.
Yeah, back then.
And you were struggling to pay it.
Struggling to pay it. Yeah.
Yo, that's dope. That's
Now he being offered roles, homie.
Yo, that's
real. 800.
Yeah. Now you know, with Giancarlo and some of the people that are on the cast of The Residents, man, it's enough to be amazed and intimidated.
Yeah. I mean, heavy hitters.
Yeah.
Heavy hitters.
What is that like for you?
At this point, I don't get so nervous just because I've worked with a lot of heavy hitters, and I found so many of them are super nice, really kind, and that's probably a testament to their longevity. They're professional, they're kind, gracious, easy to work with, and I found that with most of the legends I've worked with. So working with someone like Giancarlo or Uzo Aduba, the great Uzo Aduba, it is just like so fun.
Yeah.
So fun. Yeah, very, very, very beautiful people.
That's interesting, E. Sometimes the ones that made it are the nicest, and the ones who haven't yet be the snottiest.
Yeah.
I remember doing the first time I did TV. Shout out to Monique, because Monique, it was her show.
For real?
The Parkers.
Monique, the
The
Parkers.
Parkers. It was the Parkers. I just came to MTV. I'm fresh out of hip hop. Like, I'm still dissing MTV for playing boy bands. That's where I'm at, right?
Yeah.
But I'm working there at the same time, right?
Okay.
I changed my tune eventually. I started doing the choreography with them. I was on TRL. Bye. I'm dancing. I'm doing the whole shit.
I love it,
I
Slayer.
turned into one. And thank you, Tracy. Me and Britney Spears hung out too.
I recorded it on my VHS tape.
Okay, come on. I was with all of them. I started singing them pop-ass songs, everything. I hated them songs, but I sang them. Shit. Hey, man, I had rent to pay too, Randall. To pay some rent. But it was interesting because all the stars on that show, Monique.
Courtney, Princess Vaughn,
Princess
sorry.
Countess Vaughn.
Yeah.
Were the nicest people to me, right?
Yeah.
And I did not know anything. They just threw me in and said, we want you to play this role. You're going to be the MTV guy.
Yeah.
And I never acted, never been on a set. And I didn't know what to do. Nobody handed me a script.
Yeah.
And I remember they was doing all the blocking, and I didn't know what to do. I went to Monique and said, I don't know what I'm doing. She said, baby, she showed me the script, and what part is mine? She showed me my part. Countess Vaughn started practicing in front of me so I could practice with her.
Oh, wow.
She was going through her lines. She threw something at me. And just when we were about to do the scene, it was an extra that said the most rude thing to me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, was like, all these people, so-called celebrities and influencers, are getting the jobs and can't even act. And he said it right next to me, E, and he said, I've been doing this for 15 years. And he said it loud enough for me to hear it.
Yeah.
He not knowing who I am, Randall, where I came from. I said, well, maybe you should consider a new job, right?
Yeah.
But it stuck with me because
Yeah.
it was that guy who was mean. And you'd be surprised to know that the ones that have achieved their dreams sometimes have the most humility.
Yeah. I mean, I found that in my career,
Yeah.
And the ones who, there's nothing that'll hold you back more than bitterness.
Yeah.
Once that bitterness gets in you, you can't move forward. And a lot of people, it's an easy thing to be. You know,
it's bitter.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's an easy thing to be.
Yeah, man. The Residents. Why should people watch it?
Oh man, it's an amazing show. It is it's a upstairs downstairs kind of murder mystery, but told through this Shondaland lens, so you know it's good.
Yes.
And it's funny. It's suspenseful. It's dramatic. There's action. There's kind of everything, and I'm just very proud to be a part of it.
Shout out to Shonda Rhimes.
Yeah.
I mean, my goodness. But how did you feel? Because you did. She's a genius, but you did put in the work to get to this point to get offered roles. But when you get the call, like, okay, Randall, it's the Shonda Rhimes show. They want you. Did you just like jump on the bed? That's always my happy moment. I take my sneakers off and I jump on my bed. That's my happy time. What did you do when you got that call?
For me, I'm always measured up until I'm there on the set.
That's true.
Because you never know what'll happen.
Yep,
You never know what'll happen.
Yep.
Some people are measured till they get the paycheck, but I'm measured till I'm there on the set. And I just remember every day coming to work, looking around these big, beautiful sets and realizing I'm on a Shonda show with these amazing actors. And just like really counting my blessings, you know, like wow, you know, this is incredible, you know.
You're not going to stop directing though, so you're going to still.
Oh, I'm
direct.
gonna direct. I'm a direct.
You're gonna keep directing.
Yep.
Hey man, well, first of all, I want to let Mike Muse. I know Mike is a big, obviously a big fan of yours. He's over there in New York City. I want to let him jump in on this conversation.
Okay.
Because had he not told us you could pop and lock, I wouldn't have threw on. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike.
Yo,
Mike Muse, man.
Always got your back, my guy. Always got your back. Randall, I love The Residents. It's one of my top shows of the season.
I love that.
I think it was brilliantly done. I thought it was like comedic gold. But I'm really curious about the dance that you and Uzo did. I thought you were such a great, it's an ensemble cast, obviously, but her character is the center as a detective, and so she's placed out front, both in physical space when you two are paired up. How did you guys do that dance? Because you played it perfectly of when to jump in and take the lead comedic scenes and then when to fall back. I thought you guys danced perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the credit goes to Paul William Davies, who created the show and wrote the show. One thing about that show is we were a word-for-word show. We could not improvise. We couldn't stray from the script. I mean, if we got one word wrong, we had to do it again. Wow. You know, so a lot of that rhythm was in the writing. You know, it was there in Paul's writing, and then also the great Uzo, great Uzo Aduba. She, I was just like, oh my God, I'm acting with Uzo Aduba, and she was just so gracious. We ran the lines over and over again. We really kind of built that rhythm, but also we just had a natural kind of rapport, and I think that kind of made its way into the characters.
Right.
Man, Randall Park is here, man. The Residents is what we're talking about today, but this man has done everything from the interview, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, Long Shot, Shortcomings, Neighbors, Fresh Off the Boat, WandaVision, The Office, Blockbuster, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Wildin' Out, and the list goes on and on and on and on.
He got to do a drop too for Sway in the Morning.
Yeah, he got to do that too. None of those things count until he does a drop. I want to read a message we just got from one of our listeners who goes by the name of hold on, just a lot of our listeners. He's a citizen, Jimmy McMillan, and he said Randall motherfucking Park. Exclamation point. So amazing he's on the show representing. FOB was the only family TV show for our 5 half Asian kids. We watched every week. So dope, he's a hip hop head.
Oh wow, that's a dope message.
That's your Oscar for that.
I love that.
That's dope.
I love that.
Shout out to Jimmy.
I love that.
Wow. That must feel great too, man.
That does. That really does.
Because you're the representation that you saw.
Yeah.
Now you're that representation.
Now you're that.
Yeah. That what Pat Morita did for me.
Yes.
It's like doing for these kids, which is beautiful. Yeah.
Man, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Hey, man, we'll be remiss if we didn't ask you this, man. They ain't got to be your best 5, but who's your top 5, bro?
Top 5.
Yeah.
MCs.
Okay. Well, it changes constantly.
All right.
So you ask me another day, it'll be different. But and I won't do the big guns because
fine.
you know.
Okay.
They don't have. They on the Mount Rushmore. Just leave them up there.
You don't have to mention
these legends.
Leave I know.
I'm no group. I'm talking about MCs.
Okay.
Well, you know who's always in my top 5 is Black Thought.
Black Thought from the Roots. Come on.
Gotta put that there. Philly stand up.
You know what it is.
Black Thought always.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Doom is always in
man.
there.
MF Doom, rest in power,
Doom
man.
wow.
Man, that's dope, right?
Yeah.
He said Doom, bro.
Doom, yeah.
Hip hop head,
And
homie.
then, probably Big L's.
Big L?
Big L too.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow, yo. Randall
rest
off the
in power,
chain.
man.
Chain.
And then I'd say Kendrick. I'll put Kendrick
Kendrick
up
Lamar,
there.
man.
Kendrick,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm born and raised in L.A. and
There you
also,
go.
Okay.
All right.
and then Redman.
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 Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Funk Doc.
Yeah, Funk Doc. Yeah, with Reggie.
Yeah,
bro.
Reggie. I'll put Reggie up there.
Okay.
I don't think he gets enough,
Yeah.
he doesn't get put in that top 5 enough, and he definitely deserves to
doesn't.
be. Yeah.
I think that's a real list.
That is real.
That's a real list, right?
Yeah.
That's a real personal, not because most people say what they think they're supposed to say.
Yeah.
You know, when I mentioned Pharoah Monch as one of my favorite
Oh,
top
yes.
MCs, they don't even understand why.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
He's always been one of my favorite.
Another
top-
one. Every
Yeah.
time he come on the show, I'd be like, "Oh my God!"
Pharoah Monch used to
Dangerous.
come on and
Yeah.
but Sean P.
Sean
know,
P, yeah.
You know, people don't think.
Yeah.
What was that?
Organized Confusion was dangerous.
Yeah.
Be
Organized Confusion.
To have a jam called Peanut Butter and Jelly, like I don't,
Come on,
like
Prince Pole too. They both were
Together.
dope.
they Prince Poe. You can't front on him neither.
Yeah, like
Yes.
they both were
Yeah.
dope. You
Yes.
know, so whenever you name some of these guys,
Yeah.
Chase from Self Scientific.
Yes.
Yeah, Chase went on to manage ASAP Crew for a minute.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. He's done a lot.
Self-Scientific.
Remember that? Yeah. DJ Khalil. That's who the group he was with.
The, Blue Sky. What was
Before-
that song called?
Don't do that.
That one song.
Oh, if you pull that out. Which one?
Blue Sky.
Okay.
It was where I don't remember.
What's the name of the group?
Self Scientific.
Okay.
That's
Let me
I ain't gonna
straight
tell you
up.
something crazy because I don't want to put myself out there for the hip hop community, but I didn't know who MF Doom was
KMD.
first.
Yeah.
But how did KMD become that?
Right.
This
Well,
is
yeah.
this is third base.
Yeah.
I'm like, who was that?
Yeah.
Oh, he put a mask on,
That's it.
and then because most stuff the way they speak about him. You know, I'm like, that's the homeboy.
You know what's cool though, E? Like even some of the folks I may not have been that familiar with. What's the best part is you could go back and listen to what they were doing then, and you will appreciate it now.
Okay, yeah.
That's how
I
you
didn't
know how
know.
dope. Yeah, like if you go back and listen to Self Scientific, or you go back to listen. Somebody don't know who Big L is. You could go listen to him today. Even though he's no longer with us, and go, oh man, I see, I see who it is. I give Dale the
Oh
my
my
God.
God.
Yeah.
One of my
The
favorites.
hieroglyphics is.
I messed up. I was thinking of the Juggernauts.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Dell is one of my favorites.
Dale's one of your favorites.
Dell's one of my favorites.
Wow,
yeah,
man.
Yeah.
Yo, you live in the West Coast?
Yeah, born and raised.
We gotta hang out, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, is you all
I
right
would
with
love that.
Okay,
I would
yeah,
love
yeah,
that.
yeah. We gotta
I
hang
would
out.
love
Bro.
that.
I'm gonna get your information.
Yeah, man.
I'm not even trying to get in the movie or nothing.
Oh my gosh.
I love Sway. I love it.
Yo, man.
I love having you do this every day.
Every day, E, and at home too. He moved across the hallway from me. Like, why would you do that to torture me like
He
that?
doesn't need to know this, Evan.
Yes, he does.
You
So,
gotta know what
this is what's gonna happen if you hang out with him. You're not gonna be able to get rid of Sway.
I smell a TV show right there.
I don't want to be in it.
Let me tell you something. King Tech and I got.
Oh, my gosh, King Tech.
We got a home in the Valley.
Yep.
I just live closer for work.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
DJ Revolution, the whole Wake Up
wow.
Show.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yep.
we're all here.
Wow.
We'll all be doing shows here on the station.
Yes.
I'm gonna invite you up so you can have
love
a
it.
real wake up show experience.
That would
Would
be
love
crazy.
Take you back
that.
to your childhood.
That's
I
crazy.
would love
Okay,
that. I would
okay,
love that.
all right, we're gonna do that. Randall Park, man, get this man a round of applause.
Thank
Second out
you.
on the residence, man.
Thank
It's
you.
great
Thank
having
you,
you
guys.
up, man. I didn't even ask you to rap. Unless you wanted to.
Oh my
say
God.
you RP.
I know you got something, man. Yo, just throw on the beat.
I could
and
do
see if
something.
Okay,
I
I
mean-
know you can, Randall. Hold on, man.
That's
Hold
crazy.
on.
Okay. Let's see if I can do this.
Okay.
When it comes to me being like them, I'm unable. My mind is unstable. I'm a two-legged table. I'm thinking for dinner, I cannibalize a waiter. The unwise gonna categorize and label the horror. Don't open up the box of Pandora. The pugilist spits chloroform at your corner. Lit times 9 like I'm a menorah. Bought your mom a gift from Sephora, I adore her. Mind is limitless in a world full of limits. I'm delirious in this world full of gimmicks. Simpletons belittling the age and appearance. I'm still a sex symbol like the Dame Helen Mirren. Arrogant, Asian American, bringing the art of war to carnivores and vegetarians. Derelict veterinarian, cats I'm burying. Every patient I see is getting a cesarean. Bar similar to the Bard, it's Shakespearean. Got property on Mars, I'm straight alien. Peeing on you peons for eons, only sparing the infants and octogenarians. See, I was born with an ability to transform into a chiseled individual with ram horns. Off a diet of spam and canned corn. When I clap, competition gets trapped in the sandstorm. What? Like it's Dune in this bitch. I'm an animator, you're a cartoon in this bitch. Walk in a saloon, there's a goon in this bitch. He pulls a gun, I pull a harpoon in this bitch.
Hey!
Yes, it's quite cumbersome. In a tux, harpoon tucked in my cummerbund. Fuck being number one. I'm in my own lane while you blow up, go pop and get dropped. That's bubblegum. Remember the big league chew days? Show me a curveball, I show you Shohei. Show me a bull, I'ma show you a cape that's draped over a blade. Now it's slayed, say Olay. I've been reading Eckhart Tolle, sipping on a glass of rosé. Cruising on the freeway, everyone around got road rage, but fuck them, is my forte. A fashionable fellow in a capital raincoat. The animal is kinfolk, I already been goat. I used to play the lotto in the hopes I would win dough. Now I got a lot and I just wanna smash windows. Wanna smash monuments, start the promenade with my prominence. Covered in condiments, dum-dums want dominance. I want grease to deep fry an MC. Send the chef your compliments.
Go! Oh my God! Go!
Viral. It's viral. It's viral. It's viral.
We got a hyena!
Oh no!
A hyena fresh off of spam and canned corn, my G.
What the fuck?
Hey.
That was
He had
stupid.
that. He had that. He had that.
That was wild.
He had that. That was crazy.
That's just
had
one.
That's
Talk your shit.
This is viral. It's viral. This is viral.
Yo,
Crazy
that's
viral.
crazy.
that was incredible.
He be
That's
right.
You got fucking bars.
He got
That
bars.
was at least,
right.
Yo.
at least
And don't
almost
make you
50.
smarter too.
Yeah.
Gosh,
We
what
better
just
stop
happened?
trying to
Yeah.
judge a book
By
by
its
its cover,
cover.
because
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
show
Oh
up
my
with that
gosh,
smoke.
yeah. Like he want to produce you now.
Hey, Sway.
Why was I thinking that? To do a record.
Yo, you thinking that? You thinking that?
I was thinking it when he was going.
No,
That was to do a record.
DB. You did that beat. DB
Absolutely.
in New York.
Yeah,
Oh, he did?
Yeah, Randall, thank
DB,
you,
go
man.
ahead.
Yo, Randall, I'm sitting
Yeah.
there, I'm sitting there
no.
nodding my head. That was crazy. What up, E. Sermon, man? I
of
love you, man.
course.
What's
But,
up?
yo,
Oh, that was dope.
It was crazy to hear you rhyming over one of my beats, man. I was not expecting that, but shit.
Of course.
What the hell,
Of
Mike?
course.
Mike Muse is like
I
baffled.
can't
right
believe
now.
that happened right now. I didn't see that coming. But the way, bro, that when you started talking
Fantastic.
about the Tolstoy, then you kind of went some other way. I was like, yo, where is this going, bro?
It's
That was
going
amazing.
everywhere.
That was dope, man.
He had it.
Yo, bro, you dope, man.
Thank you, man.
Man,
Yeah.
you took him. Fuck that. You rapping on the wake up show.
I swear gonna put you. I told you about hanging out with him, Randall. Better
Good
watch
work,
it.
Randall, man. Hey, man,
Hey.
absolute pleasure, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
This
thank
was
you,
a dream
brother.
come true. And then
Wow,
on top of that,
Yo,
Erick Sermon.
That's
man.
my mind is blown.
Wow.
Heather
man.
B.
No.
Legendary.
No,
Wow.
you too.
I'm just-
love, man. But I
Yeah.
know even for me, like I didn't know like he was gonna be working with us today. I knew he was stopping by the show, but I'm like, I told Kalani, you got to get notes. Like we're interviewing Erick Sermon, he's a legend. Like I'm sitting here, I got to keep reminding myself, he's like
You my
working.
sister. Come on, stop it.
You made him crab legs yesterday, Heather.
Yeah, I know she said. I'm gonna play.
Yo, no, but you know what I mean. Like we by the grace of God, we form these relationships with people sometimes.
Yeah.
But you have to understand the work that they did, you know, that inspired you.
Yes.
You know, and so I'm just appreciative of everybody here as well. So I'm feeling what you feeling.
Yeah.
We could have had him with the five deadly vinegar.
I know, right? Right. He do the 5 fingers easily, man. Easily. He said that was just one.
Wow. He was confident too.
There's no more. I was just being cocky.
All right. Give it up for Randall Park, man. Hey, beautiful, bro. That was a great. Erick Sermon, thank you for co-hosting today.
Yeah, you co-hosted
All right,
with
man.
us
Make
today.
sure y'all hit up Sermon. Tell them your social media, man.
Yeah, Erick _Sermon.
There you go.
That's it.